You are sitting on a rock, a wet, spinning rock covered in a thin film of gas, hurtling around a continuous nuclear explosion at 67,000 miles per hour. That rock floats in a galaxy that contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. And that galaxy, your galaxy, is just one out of 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. The universe itself is 13.8 billion years old, and the basic ingredients for life, carbon, water, energy, are scattered everywhere. Which leads to the question that should keep you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. If the universe is this incomprehensibly massive, and this impossibly old, where is everybody? This is the Fermi Paradox. It is a nightmare dressed up as a simple science riddle, because every single logical answer to that question is deeply terrifying. Let's start with the most forgiving explanation. Space is simply too large for us to comprehend. The nearest star to our Sun, Proxima Centauri, is 4.24 light-years away. That equates to roughly 25 trillion miles. If you boarded the Parker Solar Probe, the fastest spacecraft humans have ever engineered, currently moving at 430,000 miles per hour, it would still take you over 6,000 years to reach that nearest star. That is longer than all of recorded human history, just across the street to the closest house. To bridge that gap, we rely on SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. But our search is an absolute infant. We have been scanning tiny slivers of the sky for roughly 60 years. In the calendar of the universe, we have been listening for a fraction of a second. We might also be listening for the entirely wrong things. We search for radio waves because we invented radio a century ago. But trying to detect a million-year-old civilization using radio is like 2 ants standing on a fiber optic cable, trying to intercept the internet by tapping on the glass. The technology flowing past them is so advanced, they cannot even perceive it as communication. They might use quantum entanglement networks, or encode information directly into spacetime. The universe might not be silent at all. It might be deafeningly loud with conversation, and we are just too primitive to hear the noise. What if life is incredibly common, but it is permanently trapped within its own world? Imagine evolving as a highly intelligent creature at the bottom of a pitch-black ocean, buried under 60 miles of solid ice. You have no concept of a sky, no knowledge of stars, and absolutely no way to send a signal out. Astrobiologists call this the ocean world hypothesis. Looking at moons in our own solar system, like Europa and Enceladus, scientists suspect that massive liquid oceans locked beneath frozen surfaces might be the most abundant habitable environments in the cosmos. Billions of civilizations might exist right now, filled with brilliant, curious minds, but they are buried alive in frozen water prisons, physically incapable of reaching the surface or escaping. If we eliminate accidents of physics and biology, we have to explore intentional isolation. What if older, advanced civilizations know exactly where we are, but are deliberately choosing to ignore us? Think about how humanity handles uncontacted tribes deep in the Amazon rainforest. We have the technology to reach them at any moment, but we enforce strict no-contact zones. We understand that suddenly dropping modern technology into their world would instantly destroy their culture and their reality, so we watch quietly from the trees. Now flip the roles. Something vastly older than humanity has drawn a massive invisible perimeter around our solar system and put up a cosmic sign that reads, "Do not touch." We build our rockets and point our telescopes into the dark, thinking we are brave explorers. The terrifying reality might be that we are an isolated science experiment, living inside a cosmic terrarium entirely maintained by an unseen watcher. But what if the silence isn't an act of preservation? What if it is an act of survival? Welcome to the dark forest theory. Imagine the universe as a pitch-black woods, filled with armed hunters creeping silently through the trees. This diagram shows the brutal logic governing those woods. You have 3 facts. Resources are finite, so expansion eventually requires taking from others. Second, you can never truly know the intentions of an alien species. Third, the immense distances mean you cannot negotiate or talk. Messages take centuries to arrive. In these conditions, you cannot risk waiting to see if a neighbor is friendly. Because you can never confirm their intent, and because any delay gives them the chance to strike first, survival dictates a singular, brutal calculation. Eliminate the potential threat before it discovers you. It is the only way to guarantee your own existence. The science fiction author Liu Cixin popularized this exact logical framework, and the implications are horrifying. In 1974, humanity beamed the Arecibo message deep into space, detailing our biology and location. If the dark forest theory holds true, we walked into woods filled with apex predators and screamed our exact coordinates at the top of our lungs. The Berserker Hypothesis takes this one step further. The hunters might not even be biological. They could be ancient, self-replicating robot probes created by a long-dead empire, roaming the galaxy like ghost sharks, programmed to detect and exterminate any emerging technological life. Every young civilization that dared to speak up was devoured the moment their signal was detected. We are shouting into a graveyard. If the hunters don't get you, the universe has its own mechanism for execution. Astrobiologists call this the Great Filter. This staircase charts the evolutionary journey of life. Step 1, basic chemistry forms cells. Step 2, multicellular life. Then intelligence. Then early technology, all the way up to a sprawling interstellar empire. The theory suggests that somewhere on this staircase lies an almost insurmountable barrier, a step so brutally difficult to pass that practically every species in the universe gets stuck there and dies. The great lingering terror is that we have no idea where the barrier is. If it is behind us, we are incredibly lucky survivors. But if the filter is ahead of us, it means the hardest step comes after a species discovers advanced technology. It could be runaway climate collapse, artificial intelligence, or nuclear war. If the Great Filter lies ahead, humanity is blindly marching toward an invisible wall that has successfully executed every single civilization before us. Let's strip away the sci-fi horrors entirely. The actual truth might be a mathematical reality. There are no ancient probes, no silent hunters, and no invisible barriers. Despite trillions of galaxies and billions of years, our proven sample size for life in the cosmos is exactly one, just us. Think about the staggering chain of miracles required for you to exist. We needed plate tectonics to regulate temperature for billions of years. We needed an asteroid to wipe out the dinosaurs at the exact right geological moment, just so early mammals could survive and eventually evolve. We needed Jupiter. Its massive gravity acts as a planetary bodyguard, sucking up comets and debris that would have otherwise pummeled Earth into a sterile, lifeless crater. Remove any one of these hyper-specific events, and life fails. Intelligence is not a natural law of the universe. Humanity is simply a 1 in a trillion glitch, a freak, highly unlikely chemical reaction. We hear nothing because the universe is completely, utterly empty. But perhaps the universe wasn't always empty. Billions of years ago, the cosmos might have been roaring with sprawling, intelligent life, sprawling empires of light, and communication networks threaded across the stars. But the universe is governed by entropy, the slow, irreversible decay of all things. Those Golden Age empires burned brightly and died out long before our solar system even formed. We didn't arrive early to the universe. We missed the party entirely. This map shows a crueler reality. The center dot is us. The surrounding dots are galaxies. Space is expanding, accelerating outward. Galaxies are dragged away faster than light. The moment they cross that boundary, their light can never reach us. They disappear from view permanently. The silence in our sky is an obituary. We're born into the cold, decaying aftermath of reality, calling out into a cosmic graveyard as the lights slowly turn off around us. This is the escalating, compounding dread of the Fermi Paradox. Every logical door you open leads directly to the dark. We are either tragically early, heartbreakingly late, being hunted, or entirely alone. The cold mathematical probability of an empty universe outweighs the fear of any monster. We are a flicker of consciousness in an infinite sea of nothing, likely to vanish before the cosmos even notes our presence. So sleep well tonight, and if you ever want to keep staring into the existential void until it finally stares back, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.